anything, trying to let the game come to them. And it's tough coming from, the injuries that they had and, different aspects and situations that they're going through. Everybody's situation is different, so for them just to be back on the floor and just, starting to get back to, regular day-to-day routines. I mean, it's big for them, so I'm just happy for them and just, just very proud of their success, how well they're coming in and, flowing into things without having any hiccups or, any setbacks because at the end of the day, both of their situations were different. But at the end of the day, they missed a lot of time, so.
It's, a guy likes to play with a lot of energy and bring just a lot of energy and emotion to the game. Do you appreciate a guy like Thomas Bryant brings a similar element?
For sure. But I've known TB before. Even coming here just because me and him use the same trainer. And Rico Hines. Who's a great player development coach for the Kings. But Rico's been around this guy, been around this game for a numerous amount of years, man, and knows it in and out. There's a lot of different variants of how plays are being ran nowadays, but they all kind of similar and kind of fall back into the same aspect of pick and roll and being able to make decisions in the pocket and, just find what you do well. And Rico is one of the best at, refining guys' game and, just basically harping and hitting on the things that you're going to need and the different situation aspects you're being put in your own day-to-day situation in your organization. So I've known TB before coming here and just, being around him and just seeing his growth from him working, getting back to, where he is now is big, like I said, because I've seen him go through the process with Rico.
I grew up there. I didn't realize that here in North Carolina, it's such a short drive.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah. I literally, off days, the majority of the time I drive back home and I just check on my family and, the different businesses that I have back home in general. So, this is the first time I've ever been on the East Coast and definitely the first time I've ever been this close to my family. So, it's been a blessing this year. They've been able to come up to a lot of games, a lot more than they've been able to with me playing on the West Coast. So, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, you made my question. How often are you able to drive back and forth on?
Man, with this crazy weather that's coming up, I gotta, pick and choose when I'm gonna be able to. But honestly, any off time I can get, any off day that we have when we're completely off, I make the drive down and, just basically go back and see my dad, my mom, my family. My manager's still there. Like I said, I have businesses that's there. One is in the process of opening up, and then I also have one that's open as well at my daycare. So just to go back and see those things open up and running actually fully, um, you know, transpiring from where my vision was for it to where it is now. It's a blessing.
To the daycare, what are the fields of your business?
I'm doing a little bit, getting into real estate a little bit. I have Airbnbs. Have one in South Carolina and actually looking to do another one in a few different states. And I actually have a sneaker store that I'm opening in my hometown, downtown. So it's a lot of different, inspiring and things that I want to tap into. That's not only going to be for me, but for my kids, for my family, for later on down the road. That's what it's about for me. I know I can't play this game forever. But while I'm here, I want to take full advantage of the things that I have around me now to, set me up later on in life. Yeah, because I mean, it just goes to show, in our play, we'll go on and win 2, 3 games, then we'll turn around and have a loss. Go on, win 1, 2 games, turn around and have a loss. So as you see, it's inconsistent, and I think the guys hit around the head when they said consistency is what we got to bring, but it's got to be as a collective group from top to bottom. So we really got to understand, every game is different. Every night we go out, what may have worked the game before may not work the next game. So at the same time, we got to understand that everything is a process that we're doing, but definitely consistency is something that we really gonna have to, really fine tune and really find it here soon because, we can't really just keep having these, up and down ways because we're going to find ourselves in a tough situation towards the end of the year. Yeah, it's gonna be different because at the same time, like you just said, we're not fully, to our full team. We're missing 50% of our feeds that's sitting at home right now for an inconsistent test. So and the point about it, he went and got vaxxed. I mean, so what do y'all want this guy to do, man? He's following all the protocols. He was real big on not being vaxxed and getting vaxxed. And he went and got vaxxed and he didn't get a positive test. He had an inclusive test, and y'all have just got sent home again in COVID protocol. What do y'all want him to do? So it's not going to be easy because at the same time, he's out now. Who's to say somebody else don't power enough positive tests? So it's never going to really be a chance to the point where I think we're going to always be to a full capacity team. And I don't think there's going to be anybody in the NBA. Hopefully it gets to that point. But it's just the way this virus is going, the way things are happening. Nobody knows how it spreads and how it is to basically really tame it. Or to the point make it where it's not as just a factor. I mean, yeah, you could play with. You could play with a lot of energy and the effort and having the trying the will and the want to win the game, but at the same time, it's still going to be tough, man. Because at the same time, you may have guys that are there on the 10-day. You may have guys that you have to pick up out of free agency. It's a lot of different variants that come into the factor of what's the overall big picture. So at the same time, like I think it's just going to be difficult for everybody, like I said, because right now we're living in a time where this isn't the norm for anybody. Everybody's still trying to learn and figure it out and trying to figure out what is the best plan or the best way to go about doing things. And I don't think nobody has that answer. I think we're all just trying to wing it and trying to figure it out together. Yeah, we did it to the point where we made it work. We went in the bubble, but guys really aren't going to do that again, man. Because at the same time, that was tough for not only us being in it, but all the people that had to work it. People that was away from their home and they couldn't bring a significant other into the bubble and things like that. So it's tough, So it's something that we're all just going to have to try to learn and deal with and manage throughout the times that we're going through it. Really.
Is there a sense on the team where you're trying to rally around for the guys who at the time are in protocols, like for Brad, trying to win for Brad?
Honestly, man, that's not a realistic thing. Honestly, definitely you miss their presence. Definitely you miss them being in the locker room and everything that they bring towards our team. But as far as like rallying or winning for those guys, man, that's not really realistic because we're always going to have. Well, it sucks to say, but probably always going to have somebody in that COVID protocol thing, man. Because like I said, we don't know how this virus is spreading, man, and it sucks, So I don't really think it's to a point of trying to rally or win for those guys. I mean, I think it's really just you're trying to go out and play the game the right way and execute the things the way that they want them ran, even if they was in the locker room, in person. Really, I don't really know if it's more so about trying to win for them because at the same time we're all ultimately built in and tied into one goal, and that's in winning overall. So.
Defense was one of the very best in the first 13 games. Last month and a half, it hasn't been up to you guys' standards. How do you guys get that?
I mean, it's gonna take a lot, honestly, man. Yeah, it's easy to start out the beginning of the season to the point of where we were because nobody really knew the identity that we were gonna have. We really didn't know that. But after you play a numerous amount of games and to the point where we're at now, 40 plus in, it's gonna take a lot of adjustments. It's gonna take a lot of different critiquing areas of where we need to get better at, what we need to work on, and how we need to build to get to that ultimate goal of where we was at the beginning of the year. Like I said at the beginning of the year, it's definitely not really easier, but it is because at the beginning of the year, everybody's starting out fresh. Nobody kind of knows what anybody's true identity is really going to be. Especially in those early amount of games. But now, like I said, we're in the point where we're 40 plus games in. You know, guys have film. We've seen multiple teams multiple times, man. So, like I said, everything's going to be an adjustment. We're going to have to learn how to, you know, go in with a game plan. You know, have one thing that we try to do to, you know, execute to win the game. But at the same time, when that doesn't work, we're going to have to learn how to make adjustments on the fly. You know, being able to fix those things and being able to, you know, change and try to, you know, make something happen in that moment and not just go out, you know, thinking that set game plan is always going to be what works, because that's not really, you know, believable. It's basketball, man. You never really can predict, you know, everything that's going to happen on the floor.
All right, Trez, we'll take one question from Zoom. We'll take it from Neil.
Hey, Trez, what is kind of the toughest part of a 3 center rotation and just trying to get adjusted to that?
I don't know, brother. I don't really have the answer for it. Only thing I can really do is just come in and, you know, looking to get my work and, you know, try to approach the game prepared and ready to play. When my name is called, honestly, I was in that position last year. It didn't really work out well for me, but it definitely taught me on how to be a pro and how to basically just stay ready and stay prepared mentally and physically for this game. So honestly, I don't really have the answer for that. It's really not for, you know, up for me to try to figure out. It's for our coaching staff, and I'll leave that in their hands. But like I said, it's just about me coming in, making sure that, you know, I'm prepared every, you know, every night, every, you know, time my name is called. Is more so what I get out of it, really.
Thanks, Trez.
Yep.
All right, Trez.
Anything you want, Brad or Thomas?
Brad is still in protocol. As you guys know, across the league, it changes day to day, hour by hour. But Brad is not with us. And Davis went through some light stuff today. He's actually doing some stuff on the court now, you know, to see how he feels. And, you know, we'll see where he's at tomorrow.
Did you start to, just as a coaching staff, start to piece together the rotation? Thomas Bryant, really not sure. What's the process like trying to figure out who those guys can coach this with?
Yeah, it's just part of it. You know, somebody's just going to have to be put them into the fire and see what works, you know, since they're, you know, joining us later in the season. And as we move forward and we get a bigger package of data to look at to see, you know, who they fit well with, who fits well with them, what 2, 3, 4-man lineups work type of thing, we'll, you know, adjust accordingly. But I think it's still too early for both of them as they're ramping up their minutes and stuff. And also as we try to figure out some things without Brad, you know, honestly, to just see how it kind of all fits as we move forward.
What lineup we saw last night, and it seemed like Denny was maybe the 2, because there was a lot of height on the floor. Is that a product of more a product of Brad being out, or more a product of like, all right, we're experimenting, let's see who really can play?
Yeah, I think it's honestly more of the NBA now in terms of positionless versatility, you know, sort of thing. We got a lot of trust in our guys of playing multiple positions offensively and defensively. I think you could look across the league and look at some lineups and be like, who is the 2, who is the 3? I think those days are kind of, you know, more behind us, you know, sort of thing. And I think it's a credit to our guys and what we have here in terms of, you know, size, length, guys playing multiple positions. And it's not always going to be perfect, but the guys have committed to it and bought in. And as we work through it, you know, sort of thing, I think we'll see more and more good things happen.
Everything else is changing all the time, like other than I guess just playing harder than that, is there anything else you can do?
Yeah, you have a good question. I think a lot of it has to just do with the commitment part of it that we talked a little bit about last night, you know, sort of thing. It's a ever-changing league, and we talked about it a little bit this morning. You have to adapt, you know, with the situation. And I think our guys have actually been pretty good about it, all things considered, you know, sort of thing. But night to night, who's in, who's injured, foul trouble, all that stuff. You know, we saw a guy like Aaron Holiday last night provide a spark for us. It's part of being a pro, just staying ready. You don't know, you know, when your number is going to be called or why it's going to be called, whether you're in the rotation or out of it, sort of thing. So our guys know we have a very confident group about what we're capable of doing, but it also doesn't mean we get to win, you know, sort of thing. And it's part of it. It gives us a chance, but some of the things we touched on last night, some of the things we hopefully cleaned up today, on both sides of the basketball, to get a more consistent effort, concentration, to not give possessions away. They all matter, up 10, down 10. It all values the same, whether it's the first quarter. Everybody talked about DeMar's shot here a couple of weeks ago, and it's always magnified in those moments. What an amazing shot, what an amazing player, that sort of thing. But what put us in that situation? It could be all those things tied together, whether it was something in the second quarter when we didn't get back in transition, whether we were unorganized in offensive possession. So they're all valued the same, how they're looked upon. They always get viewed upon, down the stretch in terms of those close game moments. But those are the things we're trying to do a lot more consistently. Yep. Everybody else was involved.
There's some possessions, I think, very early in last night's game where they would have backed that. I think they would have backed down successfully. A big guy, I play big that. I want to see your team. They just try to keep a big, imposing center at bay.
Well, I think a lot of it starts with doing your work early. A lot of those Joel, Nurk, there's numerous guys across the league. That their physicality is what it is. You're not going to be able to slow that part of it down. They're going to bring it to you. So, I think for a guy like Gaff, his strength is his quickness. That'll be part of his growth of getting off of guys' bodies like that and using his quickness as his advantage. And then once they do catch the ball, it's not just like it is on the perimeter for our guards or anybody else. It's not one-on-one, sort of thing. We need to have a shrink mentality, a multiple effort mentality. And when things aren't perfect, a cover mentality, sort of thing. And we've seen it bits and pieces. We saw it much more consistently early in the year, and that's stuff we're constantly harping on and trying to just be better at to give ourselves a chance each night.
I saw you pulling Rui aside after practice there. If you're willing to share what was discussed, or if not, maybe what you guys discussed in general.
Yeah, not necessarily what we discussed, but just more, whether when Wes is here or not. I think our whole staff, we just touching the guys, communicating with them, seeing where they're at, good, bad, ugly, and different. What's going on not only here, off the court, and just touching base. And it was, I'm sure you saw me with him, but multiple guys yesterday and today. Just you can't talk to all 15 individually every day, but just to see where they're at, sort of thing. Make sure we're connected, we're on the same page, and just trying to help. That's all it is.
How do you think he's picking up the defense? He's +6 and I think a +1.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot of good things. He had a great possession one-on-one with Simons. I don't remember down in front of our bench where he was really, and one of the things I did share with him, I think he's got an ability to be an elite level defender, not just with bigger guys, smaller guys like Simons, excuse me, that are quicker, sort of thing. And as he's around more, and we're doing more and more stuff, and I think it's only going to help him. But I think he's done a lot of good things. His energy, his physicality that he just naturally plays with, is a plus for our team. And again, we're excited to have him here with us.
I think yesterday he played from kind of the middle of the first quarter into the second, and rather than like 4-minute segments, like it's almost like 8 minutes. Is that kind of the next step? Is getting more playing?
Yeah, some of it's tying into, as we ramp up the minutes, from the performance team, change and stuff like that. You get him to play longer stretches, to push through some of the conditioning part of it. Part of it was, without Davis playing, it changed the rotation a little bit in terms of what we were trying to look at. But he's a really good player. He's going to do a lot of good things here for this organization. And, I got to do a better job helping him in those type of situations where, putting him in position to be successful in offense. And we're trying to figure it out as a group as we move forward here. Oh, boy. A lot, their physicality. Obviously, Joel, we talked about this morning, but he's got 8 straight 30-point games right now. His presence is known on both ends of the floor, sort of thing. And I think for us, it's always going to start with our defense. Our defense needs to fuel our offense. And at times we get away from that. But just the level of physicality, the shot making, and then the game kind of got away from us there at a stretch. But they're playing at a high level right now. I know they had lost at home to Charlotte, and they just went back-to-back wins. So, against 2 really good teams. So we're gonna need to bring it. And these games are different. Excuse me, 2:00 start. Guys are out of the routine. It's a weekday. All that stuff comes into play. So we had a good day today. Film coverage talked about things we need to do better, and started to lock in on Philly, sort of thing. So hopefully we'll see more carryover tomorrow.
How versatile positionally is Rui as a defender? Can he guard regularly 3 through
One thing I don't want to do is put limits on any of our players, sort of thing. And I think time will tell, as he works his way back and, watch him more and more up close. But I think the disposition that he has defensively, he has shown in moments already. So it'll be exciting to watch his growth on that side of the ball.
All right, Coach, let's transition over to Zoom, and we'll start with Neil.
Hey, Coach, what is the direction from the medical team right now on Rui and TB's minutes restrictions right now?
Yeah, it's just constant communication. That's the biggest thing is we have talks every day, practice days, game days, where they're at on all that stuff. So that's the biggest thing. They have a plan. They're in contact with those guys. They relay it to myself or Wes when he's here, and we connect with Tommy as well. And the plan is what it is, and when they communicate it, we'll push forward. And those guys they're tied into it as well, so they're aware of it, and we'll take it one day at a time.
And if you're willing to share, what was kind of the communication that Wes had with you either after the game yesterday or maybe today?
Oh yeah, I talked to Wes at length last night. Obviously, confidence and support and all that stuff. We just kind of talked about the game, and he obviously watched it closely. And I know I said to you guys after the game, he said the same thing. Like, wanted to get to the film, as did I, and kind of see if it tied into what we saw, in live play, sort of thing. But he knows what this group's about. He's in close contact, even though he's not here, and he knows what we're capable of in being better and more consistent. And that was kind of his message: is just keep doing the things we've talked about, and keep hammering him with it. And again, we feel good. We're a very confident group. While it's disappointing to lose, we look forward to the response that we'll have tomorrow afternoon.
And earlier in the season, you guys didn't have a ton of practice time. Brad, Spencer, other people would say, you guys are kind of learning things on the fly. How instrumental and helpful has it been for you guys to, during this homestand, have a lot more practice?
Yeah, it's been good, obviously, to go through whether it's practices, film sessions, walkthroughs on the road. I think I talked about it a little bit last night. It all matters. However we do it, whether it's a halftime film edit through a walkthrough type of session, and our guys are good about locking in, concentrating on what we're emphasizing on both sides of the ball. And again, we need more carryover, more consistently from everybody, and that includes the coaching staff. We're all involved in it. We're not absolving ourselves of any of it. So, as I said, we look forward to the challenges that lie ahead. I think we got 5 more games on this homestand, and the road doesn't get any easier. And winning in the league is hard. We understand that, and we'll win when we deserve to win.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Coach, we'll take our last questions from Christos.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. From coaching perspective, what is the most impressive part on Kyle Kuzma's growth on both ends, especially on the level of his maturity on the floor?
Yeah, I think it's his all-around game. I think everybody's talking about it, noticing it, sort of things. We're very aware of it, and it's just staying in the components of what we're doing, sort of thing on both ends of the floor. But his versatility of guarding multiple positions, putting the ball on the floor, making the right plays when help is there, knocking down open shots, making big shots for us, timely shots for us throughout the season. I think it just kind of shows what type of player he is and the growth that he's had over his career. I think he's getting a chance to showcase it here night in and night out.
And also, in the last games, you haven't on the floor Bradley Beal, but Spencer Dinwiddie made a huge step up, lead on the floor, make plays for himself, made plays for his teammates. How encouraging signs are that from your perspective?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
How encouraging signs for you is all those things to see Spencer lead on the floor?
Yeah, Spencer's I think he averaged 19, 20 a game 1 year. You don't do that in this league by accident. He's a really good player. I know that those guys have talked about it. We've talked about it, is playing with different groups, playing with Brad, playing without Brad, sort of thing, and finding their ways, and when to defer, when to be aggressive, sort of thing. And I think he's in a good place right now. He's playing really good basketball, sort of thing, and I think he's adjusted to what we're asking him to do. And he's shown it time and time again. He's gotten better as the season's gone along. He's into the team. He wants to win, and those type of things you don't coach. That's who he is. And that's what we're excited to have.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Pleasure.
All right, Coach, all set. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, guys.
you don't understand what it's like to play in an NBA game, let alone come in cold after missing the first three, not playing the first 3 quarters. How tough is it to come in and microwave it up like you did last night?
I mean, I just try to play my game. Can't worry about how tough it is. You just gotta go out there and do it. So that's my job. I'm supposed to be out there hooping and playing as hard as I can. So that's what I try to do every game.
What's it like right now, just with so many more players available back from protocol, Rui and Thomas coming back, just being part of a very deep group?
We're very deep, obviously. The guys you said that just came back, they're going to help us out a lot this year. They're probably going to be our main guys going forward, obviously with the starters and everything. But yeah, it's awesome. In the playoffs, when we get to the playoffs, we're going to be very deep. So whether we have injuries or just guys that have bumps and bruises and stuff like that, we'll be able to pretty much keep that pace going with the guys coming in from out of the rotation. Say it again. They're kind of similar. Pat does a lot of talking more than Wes does, but he does that anyway, so it's normal. It was crazy seeing Pat drop the plays yesterday, but he did a really good job at it. He obviously you have the other 4 coaches out there that are up front with them, and that really helped him out. But Pat did a great job yesterday for sure. I think we have more guys back, so that's good. I think we were just going into like the health and safety protocol with everybody during the Philly game, but yeah, we should be locked and loaded. We have everybody back. We pretty much have almost a full roster without Brad, so we should pretty much get out there and compete.
What stands out to you about both Rui and Thomas Bryant now that they're back and starting to play with them?
I mean, I've always obviously played them before in previous years, but they're great players, great teammates, great guys to be around. We're excited when we first got Rui back out here. He's just a good guy to be around, and TB has a lot of energy with him. So those 2 guys are really going to help us out there for sure.
What do you do to take your mind off basketball when you're not?
Just hang out with my family. I got 2 kids at home, my wife. So my dad's out here too right now, but just hang out with my family.
How did you stay patient during the last week when you might have been out of rotation, but just staying ready mentally and physically? What was
I've been here before. My 4th year in NBA, so I've been to not playing the whole year to playing limited minutes to coming out the rotation. So honestly, just keeping my faith in God and knowing that He has a plan, and my family is a great base. They support me a lot, and there are people I can lean on for times like this. But for me, I just gotta wait my turn. That's pretty much all they'll tell you in the NBA. Wait your turn, and soon you get your opportunity. You just gotta be ready for it.
All right, Aaron, we'll transition over to Zoom and we'll start with questions from Neil.
Hey, Aaron, when you're sitting on the bench for the first 3 quarters of yesterday's game, is there anything where you're kind of like, oh, this is something that I might be able to attack? And then if so, is that something that you were able to implement in the 4th quarter?
Not really. I was just out there trying to support my team, honestly. We got down probably by as big as like 16 at one point, but just try to support them, give them confidence as they're playing. And obviously when my name was called, I was just trying to be ready.
Thanks, Aaron.
We'll go to Christos.
Hey, Aaron, hope you're doing well. Aaron, if you play 5 minutes or if you play 15, 25 minutes, how important for you to stay even killed and be productive and effective on both ends? What is the secret behind that?
There's no secret. I just try to play out for my team, man. I just try to do everything I can to help them win and put us in the best position to get the W. So whether I play 5 minutes, 25 minutes, I got to play hard on both ends, really bring the intensity on the defensive end and try to push the pace on the offensive end. I feel like we're at our best when we're out and running, getting easy baskets and having me pick up the ball full court and just picking up the energy on defense. I think that helps us a lot.
And also how the chemistry inside in the team, how beneficial, how help you to bring that intensity on both ends?
Just going through practice. We've been here since September. A lot of us were here in September, so just going through practice. Obviously, the schemes coaches have and the ways that they have us do like 3-man drills and stuff like that to get connected out there on the court. It really helps, and we got a great group of guys, great characters. So guys aren't selfish on the court, so that makes it easier as well.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, Aaron, all set. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.